Hello Pioneers, in the last episode of our MEGAFACTORY build series, we set up petroleum production, bringing rubber and plastic online while prepping for future diamond manufacturing. In this episode, we dive into crystal oscillator production. We start with an AI limiter factory using our trusted assembler tower blueprint, and then design a bold floating factory for scalable manufacturing of crystal oscillators. Can we balance aesthetics and efficiency with this wild new design? Let's find out. With our oil products done and plastics and rubber online, it's probably high time we start working on some of our more advanced componentry. Now that all our basics is done, we've got aluminium, we've got plastics, we've got rubber, we've got all of our other basic materials, so we're pretty much in a position that we can start crafting all our advanced stuff now. The first thing that we're going to try to make is crystal oscillator. It's a component of the superposition oscillator. We need quite a lot, so let's figure out how many we need first. If you'll recall, the amount of SAM fluctuators we're producing currently is 50 per minute, so we can run 4 of these quantum encoders, and 4 of these quantum encoders is going to need 30 superposition oscillators per minute. Each one of these makes 5, so 30 means we need 6 of these machines, which means we need 30 crystal oscillators for that sort of supply. That is quite an insane amount. Let's see if we can't supply it. It is a mega factory, so these are the challenges that we're going to have to go through. Now, these things produce 2 each, so that requires a lot less manufacturers, but at a slower rate. This is probably better because it uses the same amount of crystal quartz. It uses, instead of reinforced iron plate, it uses AI limiters. And then it uses rubber instead of cable. 30 divided by 1.875, so we need 16 of these machines, I think. So yeah, this one is probably better. So the maths works out using this recipe. We need 16 manufacturers. It'll turn 300 crystal quartz, 210 rubber, and 30 AI limiters into 30 crystal oscillators. So we also need to make our 30 AI limiters. Let's see what recipes we have and pick one of these two. So this one makes 8 and this one makes 5. I'm probably tempted to do this one. Needs less assemblers to make 30 AI limiters. So if we use this recipe, we can turn 480 quickwire and 112 plastic into 32 AI limiters in 4 assemblers. This one would need 6 assemblers and it would use 600 quickwire. So I guess this uses significantly less quickwire with a little bit of plastic instead of copper sheets. I think that's probably easier to do because plastic, copper sheets, I mean, they're pretty much the same. This is the more efficient recipe, I think. So let's start with our assemblers. We're going to put them somewhere. Now the quickwire and the plastic are on like opposite sides of the world, so it's probably easier to transport 112 plastic from there to wherever we need it. And then the rest of the material in terms of quartz crystal, well, the quartz crystal is being produced here. I think it's this black building there. And the rubber is there, and that's it. And then it's just AI limiters. So it makes sense for maybe one of the buildings to go here and then one of the buildings to maybe just go here somewhere. So while we only need 4 assemblers for now, one day we will probably need more. So we will probably need it to be, like the building to be pretty big. I wonder if we can just use the back of this space to make it. Let's try it. We've got to seal this area anyway. The back of this area doesn't have much utilization at the moment. But we can start a new set of buildings back here, I suppose. Because where's the quickwire at? The quickwire is coming out of somewhere. One of these factories all the way back there. We could build it all the way back here. But I don't think that's a good idea. We'd rather just bring the quickwire over. Down this road. So I'm thinking maybe over here we can do an assembler factory. And then next to it, we can just do a bespoke manufacturer build for what we need. What do we think of that? All right, I think here is good enough. So we'll put some flooring in. Now we know an assembler building fits perfectly here, right? So let's just quickly set one up. Let's chop these trees. We might leave this one. That one seems to be not hurting anyone. Let's get a road going this way. This tree's a little close to my road. Let's get rid of it. Alright, we've got a nice clear area to build our assembler building. We've got the blueprints for it, so let's quickly set that up. So our corner assembler will go here, 2 by 2 on each side, and it should fit in here perfectly. Yep, it does. Nice. There's our building in. Let's carve out some doorways. Probably come in from this main doorway over here. Put some painted beams in there to frame the doorway. Still too early in the morning. I'm deleting random stuff I shouldn't be deleting and misplacing everything. There we go. Get the beam corners in and our doorway is done. Let's get those buildings in, but before we do, let's paint the floors. We'll get coated concrete around the rim and we will get grip metal into the center. If you're enjoying the video and you want to support Data Engineer Plays, don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. And if you have any feedback or suggestions, feel free to share them in the comment section. Alright, that's the floors done. It's time to get the machines in. We'll use our assembler blueprint. I think I remember I needed to edit this blueprint, didn't I? Let me just quickly do that. We'll get a blueprint designer out. We'll load up our assembler blueprint. It was all good, except we just forgot to put some belts in somewhere. So might as well fix that before we use it again. All of these belts on one of these sides is forgotten. There we go, belts are in, nice and easy. Let's tuck that in there. Now the direction of stuff can be, doesn't really matter which direction things come in, right? It's only two materials, quick wire and plastic. We'll just keep coming from this side. We'll put in all 10 assemblers. I think it goes perfectly just right in the middle here. Nice and easy to build this building. Now we only need 4 assemblers, but I suppose we can just do it with 10. Let's set the recipe. We want the plastic AI limiter. Now if we did 10, that's a full belt of quick wire, which is, I guess, fine. That means we need to expand our quick wire factory one day, but maybe we'll just do it with 4 for now. I don't know. We'll just do all 10. Why not? If we need more quick wire for other stuff later, we'll make more quick wire. That's the whole point of this factory. While we're doing stuff like this, we did make everything reasonably extensible so that we can expand upon it whenever we do need to. And it is a mega factory, so we do need to start producing stuff in decent volume. But that's pretty much it. That's our 10 assemblers done. Now let's get power to this building, I guess. We can just get it across the road like this. Is it already here? No. Get one going out there. Keep that reasonably straight. That looks okay. We can get that through here and we'll just put it in the center. How about that? Put it right in the middle here, I guess. Easier to manage. That pretty much just goes right above here, right? Technically in here. And then we can go from here and just connect that through the wall. Now machines should have power. Get that going in here. Try to figure out where this can go in. I mean, we could just get it going straight in here, right? Probably the easiest way. Just one line forward. Alright, that'll do. Now we've got power in these machines. We've got to get input into them next. So let's get a couple of lifts and stuff going. So here. Do one here, I guess. And here. Get that one going in there. And get that one going in there. Nice and easy. So one is for the quick wire and one is for the plastic. Now plastic is pretty close by, so I don't think we need to transport it. It's like literally right there, and quick wire is coming in at such a huge volume that we need a belt for it. We can't use 10 AI assemblers is actually ridiculous because it's going to use up like a stupid amount of plastic. Pretty much all our plastic that we're producing, so we're going to need more plastic. That's okay, we can always expand. I'm just trying to find where my quick wire is coming from. Is this my quick wire factory? One of these is quick wire. I'm going to trace back where quick wire comes from. I believe one of these is quick wire. I just haven't labeled it. It's over here, the quick wire. Yeah, my weird quick wire that looks like it's producing faster than it can be consumed. Alright, that's fine. So we're only producing 1200, I believe. Each one is 60, so one of these blocks of 10 is 600, that's 1200. And we've only got one floor of it. I'm going to quickly label this first, and then just say it's fully being consumed by the AI limiters for now. We'll get the quick wire icon going, and then we will label this output 1200, available 0, and we're all being used for AI limiters. Sure. Now quick-wire is going into here. What's happening to it using the smart split is all happening underground. So let's go underground and start bringing stuff over. We can see the quick-wire is coming in here. So I think this is the main thing from our machine. Over here is the smart splitter that overflows it and chucks it into the sink. So what we need to do is go upstairs and sort that out. Actually, where are we bringing the quick wire out of? Gotta remind myself. So it's coming out here and then it's going downstairs. It's going down here and then out somewhere. I believe this is quick wire. Yeah, that's where the quick wire is going downstairs. Go have a look. So over here. And there's no smart splitter on here at all. So this is the main quick wire output. So we need to smart splitter this out from here. So I'm just going to delete this. And this is the smart splitter. Now we need to go up, down. So I might actually just delete this. Oh, no, we'll just keep it. So we'll get a smart splitter going. And then we'll get the overflow going out this way. And we'll call that straight belt now overflow. But the main belt is going to be going down this way and being consumed by the AI limiters on the other side of the world. So let's start dragging a belt up. Fill in any subfloor that we need to. Try to figure out where we actually need to go. It's like over there somewhere. So let's just keep bringing the quick wire over. Nothing's coming here. I haven't set the belt to do the thing. Let me do that real quick. We've got to set this thing to actually go left output is the main output. That way it'll go there first. And off you go to the AI limiter factory. We're almost there, just a little bit more. A quick peek out to see how far it is. Now we probably need more subfloor this way. So I'm going to build in all the subfloor. Ah, we get to cross a tunnel. Nice. So it's over here past the tunnel. But that's fine, we can just ignore the tunnel. Keep going with our belt. We're almost there. A bit of a trek for this quick wire. And we're pretty much here. Let's get some more subfloor in. And this one will be for the quick wire. So we'll bring it over here past the tunnel. Ooh, okay. We're okay, I think. I don't think this is going to be visible in the tunnel. You know what? Let's just go around the tunnel. Lightly. It's not going to hurt anybody. We'll hug the tunnel and we'll go around. There we go. Now we're here and we want to be here. So we'll stop here and go back 1, 2. Then we'll bring you up. And then you should be a straight shot into this belt. There we go. 1 down, 1 to go. Next one is plastics. So let's go over to our plastics factory and figure out how we're going to bring the plastic over. Let me just quickly figure out how much plastic we need to bring over. 28, so 10 machines is 280. And we'll just remember that for when we write our notes. We have no subfloor under here. But our plastic is coming from over here, and we've already set up all the smart splitter mechanics required to take it. We just have to write over here that AI limiter is using 280. So our available is actually 120. Fine, we're already using most of the plastic, and hence I built this whole system to be able to double up our plastic production whenever we need to. So let's go underground and bring that plastic over first. Sorry, we need to get a belt going first. So our main output is just straight, right? Any. So let's bring that down there. Get a lift in there, and then we will start bringing that down. Now I think we've got a clear shot all the way out, so let's just bring it along the roof. Remember, we go on the roof when we're moving north-south. I don't have to build as much subfloor. Oh, where am I? I have no more main floor to follow this path over. So if we follow a north-south path over, we're pretty much going to be Yeah, we need main floor just basically all the way over this side. All right, let me just build floor. I mean, we're going to need to build factory one day anyway, so this floor is necessary. There we go. We've got more floor for our main factory, and now we can follow that underneath and bring our plastic. How's everyone enjoying this series so far? Have I lived up to the Mega Factory standards yet? I think our Mega City's gone pretty well. Alright, we're pretty much here, so let's bring the subfloor from this side now. I mean, this factory is pretty big. It's not producing too much stuff at the moment, but that's because I've built all my stuff to be vertically scalable, right? So when we do need to bring ourselves to like 10 belts of copper or whatever, we can just build our tower into the sky. So at the moment, nothing's really too mega at the moment, but eventually it'll be very mega, I think. We're just trying to get the power for everything right now. So it's been 20 episodes and I still haven't built the stuff I need for nuclear power. But rest assured, we are getting there slowly. Remember, nuclear power does require every single component in the world. So, yeah, we're definitely getting there. All right, let's line this up, I believe here. 1, 2. Let's get that into the sky. And let's get that built in. Fantastic. Now we've got plastic, we've got rubber. We should have AI limiters. We need to store them somewhere. I think this AI limiters is like 80 now, and that should be more than enough. I'm not gonna seal off the roof like that much because I'm not that confident it's enough, but I will do a small seal on the roof because I think this is okay. We do need to join these two belts. So the way we do it in the assembler room is using these lovely stackables. Chuck that belt in there. Chuck another belt in here. But what I'm trying to say is I'm almost confident that 80 AI limiters is enough for our purposes for a while, is what I'm trying to say. Oh, but this game loves to prove me wrong, so probably whatever. Like, we might end up needing like super computers or something, and then that just eats all the AI limiters. Who knows? But we've got all the AI limiters. They're all being put together into this manifold. Why are you not put here? And they're all going out here, it looks like. So we can put our thing over here. We need to box these. I see a problem with this design. We don't have anywhere to sink our materials from the assembler, and all assembler buildings need to be sunk, right? Let's see if we can't fit into this building a sink. I don't think we can fit into this building a sink. So the sink for these buildings is always going to be outside these buildings, I guess. And the storage for these are going to be outside these buildings too. So with that, let's figure out how we can do that. So if the output's here, I'm thinking the storage needs to be somewhere here, and then the sink needs to be somewhere here. So we can build our storage into the wall. So if we build our industrial storage container, say here, not onto this thing, but on the floor here, need to maybe delete this. We kind of embed it the way we normally do. Like this, kind of sticking out of the wall a little bit. I think that'll look pretty cool. And that doesn't clip anything. Let's chuck our foundation back in and color it in. That looks cool. We can even leave the light beam going into it. So once it comes out, it needs to smart split. So this needs to probably be extended. Let's just get this out of the way first. So smart splitter, we'll do it as tight as we can make it. Into the smart splitter you go. The main output can just be here. It can go underground because wherever we're taking it, it's always going to be directed underground, right? But then the offset one needs to come out the side, which is perfect because then we can get our painted beam across a little bit more to the end here maybe. Get that back into the floor. Get our beam connectors in. Now we can raise this up to the ceiling and bring it across, I guess. Let me get the ceiling lights in first. Because where do we normally do the ceiling lights? Across like this? I think we normally do the ceiling lights in the center like this, right? This is the center line. Oh, I haven't centered my assemblers in this build properly. Oops. Oh well, that's fine. We'll do it properly next time, but this is the center line of the building. And I think I shifted it across like this a little bit. Now the light power can just go straight up. All right, with the lighting there, how do I do this? So I was thinking of doing it along the ceiling. I think that should be okay because I have nowhere else to draw this belt across unless I draw it across the edge here. We can just do it across the edge and not overcomplicate things, I guess. So if I want it here, I need like to turn it there, and then we can just draw it along the edge of the wall and then just go in there like that. That should be fine. So before we attach that, before it goes into here, it also needs to then split into trash, right? So that means we need a merger or a splitter somewhere. And it's probably good I gave extra room on this side then, because we need a second smart splitter over here somewhere before it goes in. And we'll just turn it this way. So we'll get it going in there. And then maybe this will turn a little bit earlier. So like here somewhere, and then into the splitter you go. And then the main output will be this side. That way it'll store. So I'm going to set this to overflow on the left. There we go. Now unused AI limiters will go into this smart splitter, and then this smart splitter will then overflow. That's the main output on the right, and then the center output can be overflow, and the overflow can then just go into a sink. So where should we put our sink? I guess it's just going to go in the front of the building, right? Because it definitely can't fit inside the building. We can clip it into the building, but we probably won't do that. Something like this. An awesome sink in front of the building. And then we can just belt this out from the center along the edge here. Does this look okay? Or is it just like super horrible and messy? No, that's terrible. We'll get it going like here, and then we'll get it into the sink. It kind of looks fine. A little bit of machinery on the outside doesn't look too bad. Look, if you really want to hide these sinks, you can always just chuck them on the roof, or you can chuck them on the floor. I think maybe in this case, we can just chuck it on the roof, to be honest. Let me finish the roof first. And then I guess we can always just move it to the roofiest roof part, right? So if we have to add a second level, we can just move the awesome sink even higher up. So here's the roof part. And then I think I used 2 meter foundations last time to sort this out. Half foundations, something like this. But we wanted like half as tall half foundations, something like this, to give it a little bit of skirting, just like that. Painted in chrome. Wait, no, not chrome. This building is Caterium. Once they're on coated concrete, the Caterium, chrome, and basically all the finishes, they all look very similar with a slight different hue. All right, there's our building in. So we can now pretty much just put the sink on the roof. The AI limiters should be getting stocked into here, right? Why have they stopped? You've run out of quick wire. Oh, wait, what? Didn't I save the blueprint? Silly. You've got to go save that blueprint with the changes. So I can't add a dimensional storage there either. I might have to put the dimensional storage here. That's fine. So on the roof, we can set up the sink. So from here, we can just punch it through the roof. And because it's temporary, I probably won't put the holes. I'm just going to get it through the roof anywhere. Like this. And then we'll just put a sink in there. Might as well just center it somewhere. Something like this. Get that going in there. And yeah, that's pretty much our build done. We've got AI limiters now. It's all lit up. What else do we need to do? Technically, we need dimensional storage for this, because if we weren't cheating and using infinite blueprint things, infinite building materials, we would need to dimensional storage this. So let's put a dimensional depot in there. I'm going to shove it in line like that. Inline would look like this, right? And then we can do something like that. There we go. That way it will get uploaded, and that looks pretty cool. And then on this side, we can do our sign, which we can steal from somewhere. Check our sign over here. Set the icon. This one's going to be AI limiter. And our 10 assemblers are making 80, right? It's a lot of AI limiters, guys. Way more than our old base. Available will be 50 and consumed by our crystal oscillators is 30. So now we're ready to build our crystal oscillator factory. Look how easy it is to build one of our advanced materials now. Super easy. Hopefully that will provide the correct amount of quick wire. It looks like a full belt of quick wire is coming in. But yeah, we should be all good now. We should be able to now produce our factory. I'm just trying to figure out where we should do our manufacturers. I guess right here, but we probably want to do it like over there somewhere because we don't want to end up pigeonholing ourselves to make a building fit into a hole. So I'm going to build my manufacturer building over here. It's going to get rid of some of these trees because there's a little bit too many trees here. Can this tree be left alone? Probably not, because it's like right on the edge of a wall, or where a wall would be. Alright, and this tree needs to go as well. We'll be generous with this tree and leave it here, because it's kind of sitting there. But that's fine. Now, in terms of where is the edge of our block gonna be? Here. Undefined, because we'll probably do like 2 sets of stuff over here, and then the block will end somewhere like along here, I guess. Okay. Then we've got plenty of building room for our manufacturers. Or maybe we can work lengthways along here and line it up to this. But no, because there's no road that's going to run through this rock over here. So we'll just build accordingly, and then we'll just road it off however makes sense at the time. So let's just create ourselves a block that goes here to denote where the factory will start. And let's have a look at what 16 manufacturers looks like. Now, our manufacturer building that we built last for SAM fluctuators looks like this. It's got this diagonal, cool looking finish over here. We can do something similar, but this only houses, what, 5? And we want a lot more than 5. So we can do like a bigger version of this. I do like the idea of these diagonal beam things, and we do need some diagonality in our lives. So let's figure something out using that. And I also like the concept of manufacturers having that hidden little compartment underneath. Now, our crystal oscillator building, however, will need way more than 16, because that's the 30 that we need. This is probably the only manufacturer building, one of the few manufacturer buildings we need to be reasonably extendable, because if we build it such that there's only one level of it, then we're going to be in a lot of trouble later on. So given that we need 16 manufacturers, let's build to 2 levels of it and have it going up 8 per each one. Sorry, it's 8 manufacturers on each level. See how that might look. This is going to be a bit of a complex build. So if the corner of our building is here and we wanted to leave a 1 tile gap, then the manufacturers is going to start from here. Let's put some walls in to denote that. So it's going to go across that way. And I think we need 3. 3 should be fine. Let's see how many manufacturers we can fit into our blueprint. That way we can make a manufacturer blueprint with some of the stuff built into it, so we don't have to manually build it every time. Remember, we're going to be building a lot of manufacturers going forward, so we definitely want to have some sort of design for this. Let's save this blueprint, and then we'll clear the blueprint designer, and let's see if we can at least fit 2 manufacturers into the blueprint designer. I think we can definitely fit 2, which is fantastic. So if it's going to be 3 long, it's going to be something like this, and then we'll build something like, well, we'll just build the floor for it first. I'm just going to use this as the marker. Now, do we want it on fix-it foundation or do we want it on grip foundation? I think grip foundation looks a bit better. So we'll build it 6 across, I think. We need to make these tileable. So let's just build our manufacturer. We need it to sort of end over here, I guess, or here. Or we should just space it out perfectly between here. Then it's perfectly tileable, right? Now, it usually overhangs here so we can get the lifts underneath. So we'll just do it for 2. Now we get the lifts underneath into here. So it's up to 4 lifts. Something like that. Now, do we want all of these to be conveyor wall holes to seal the box off? Probably. But we'll do that in a bit. Let's put the mergers in, or the splitters in. We can hug, or the splitters are going to come from this wall, right? So basically, we're going to have 4 things coming out of here. Let's try to make this even. We're going to use conveyor wall holes to measure. So we'll do 2 there, 2 there, 2 there. So there's going to be 1 input coming in here, 1 input coming in here, here, and here. So we want one of our splitters along here, like this. And that's going to line up to this. Why doesn't these 2 line up? Don't know. So there's our first input. Our second input is going to come from here. So it's going to line up to that one. Then it's going to be over here. And it's going to line up to that one. Get the belts in. And now you can see why I'm doing a blueprint for this, because look how complicated this is. If we had to build this 16 times, I would probably go insane. That's the problem with this game, is like you have to toss up between scalability and a really cool design. Because yeah, we can do a really cool design anytime we want, but if you need to duplicate that design, you're going to drive yourself insane building it. Alright, here's our 4th one. But the way we do things is pretty like logical, right? So we used our last factory as a proof of concept, our SAM fluctuators, and we took what we liked from it, and we're going to apply those concepts to here. So we liked this manufacturer design, and therefore we're going to use it like this. Now we're going to seal off this back bit over here. We're going to get rid of this because we don't want that in our blueprint, since we don't know how many of these we're going to need to tile together. Then we do want to seal off this side though, because this side is a little bit complicated. So I'm going to get rid of these actually. Oh, it's going to be annoying. I'm going to have to like redo this, aren't I? What if I just put the walls in after the fact? I think conveyor wall 2s line up perfectly to these. So they're all conveyor wall 2s. I'm just going to redo 1 to see if it makes any difference. Gotta make sure it's all working, right? I think visually it makes no difference, so that's fine. Alright, that is done. Now we need power. So how do we do power to this? We can just do it under the floor, I guess. Because why add more power bars, right? Since we have a little bit of a floor thing. And once we set this up, it should be pretty easy to deal with. How do I visually tell if this is correct? We go this way, that's too much. That is perfectly down. Nope. That is perfectly down. There is no perfectly down. It's always a little bit of a tilt. So we'll tilt it in 1. And should we just do it there just to make it simple? No, that looks terrible. Alright, so it's a 1 off this thing. I will never be able to tell. Like, and this is why I would only do this in blueprint mode, because doing this in the real, like, doing this manually would just be impossible. So it's there. And then we probably want it to go out there, and that is the same as that. Good. Then we can connect these 2 wires up, and then when we tile these blueprints together, it should be okay. We'll keep this side open. This side is okay. Let's get the output done. The output can be done above ground, I think. We can't face it in. We have to face it out. Or can we face it in? It kind of clips into the machine, so we'll face it out. Like this. Now, if the input's coming in from this direction, let's get the output going the opposite way. Generally, that's how we do things. But it's fine. If we need to reverse this manifold, we can always reverse this manifold. And we've got power, we've got input, we've got output. So that's pretty much our manufacturer blueprint, right? And we should be able to stack these together whenever we want. And that looks pretty nice, I think. Now, the other thing that we did was just a little decorative, which is like a little bit of railing just along here. So we'll get the railings going over here as well. Like that and there. And I think that's all good. That is going to be the blueprint that we're going to use for manufacturers. Call it manufacturer X2X. There's our manufacturer. And we'll chuck it where all of our other stuff is. Save that blueprint, and off we go. I think we've got everything. I don't think we forgot anything. Let's just check the cabling under here, or the belting under here is all correct. They all look pretty crisscrossed and inputted to me. All right, fantastic. Test it out. Let's get rid of this. Let's check our manufacturers in. We'll give it 1 tile of space on each side for belt work. And the direction it comes in is this side, which is fine by me. Let's see what 8 of these looks like on a level. If I put it in blueprint mode, will it tile nicely? Or almost. I can't. Oh. It does. Check out how long this factory is. That's 8 manufacturers on one level. Interesting. So my idea of doing this factory like as a big square on top of each other is probably not going to work out very well. Because otherwise this factory is going to be absolutely massive. We could do 4. We can do this as 4 levels if we wanted to, I guess. I mean, there's going to be a bit of belt work involved. Let's do it as 4 levels. I've got this cool idea for this factory. I want to test it out. If it fails, we just won't do it again for the next factory. So basically, we want a building that encompasses this as small as possible. Like here, here, and here. Got an idea for it. I'm not sure if it's going to work out. Let me test it out. Now I'm just going to manually build here for a second because I want to see if I can't turn this into a blueprint of some sort at some point. So first we need to figure out the height for our manufacturer building, and I want it as short as possible. And I think 4 is a little bit too short. But what if we put the roof as a single level? That just barely fits it, which is kind of okay for me. We do need a subfloor level, because I'm sure we'll definitely need some sort of subfloor, right? So something like this. This is basically what we want to build to. Now we like that diagonal concept, so we will build that diagonal wrapper concept. I'm just going to build this up so that I know how tall things need to get. So if we want that diagonal frame, basically what we're saying is we're trying to do something like this. Wait, why am I doing it on the bottom level? I'm silly. Let me try this. So we want one here, and then the diagonal in here. So we want a block here, and a block here. That gets our diagonal. Now we need to extend this upwards to this height. Oh, so hard to build onto this thing. There it is. Now from this diagonal, we want to build it out, right? Let me just build one corner up all the way, like that. And then basically from here, we want to build it out. Except we probably want to use 1 meter foundations for this. Or we'll do the 1 meter foundation for the ceiling and the subfloor, but we'll use 4 meter foundations for the main block. I'm just going to build it all the way out to the side. Like this. And then we need to figure out which block goes underneath to meet it, which I believe is this block. So if we build this one up, I think that meets it perfectly, or it's actually the one next to it. Yeah, there you go. See, there should be a block on this side now that becomes a wall. And then you should be able to just delete off all of this. But then we need to build it out from this side to meet it perfectly. So you need to build an angle over here. And then you put a block here. And then you put a block here. And that should give you a nice clean diagonal sort of entranceway to this thing. And that can be one of the sort of foundation pillars. Alright, that's fine. We can blueprint this and we can blueprint that and then get them to meet perfectly in the middle. That's not a problem at all. We can build out from both sides and they can meet in the middle. So that's blueprintable. And then we should be able to turn those 2 blueprints and do the same thing on the other side. But how do we seal off this thing then? That was the question last time as well. So let's just make this blueprint. And then we'll adjust the blueprints as we go. Alright, I set up my 2 blueprints so we can now test if it works. So I've created this corner manufacturer 1 and 2. So technically I should be able to build this thing somewhere. We'll find the right corner, which is this one. Is this on the ground? Why does it look like it's floating in midair? That's weird. What? Is this on the ground? It is on the ground. I'm just tripping. For some reason it starts floating after a little bit, but it's fine. So it's 2 in here. It's not quite 2 in. Oh, why is that not lined up? Because it's floating in the air again. Why does it do that? Is it because these machines are here? Do I need to get rid of these machines temporarily? Yeah, the machines were interacting with the blueprint. So yeah, normally this will be fine because we're going to get the building in before we get the machines in, right? There we go. And there we go. So that's our corner blueprint. So that works. And now we've got the other part of the blueprint to meet it, which is corner manufacturer 2. And we should be able to... Hey, what happened with this? I didn't delete everything out of the blueprint, did I? Let me just fix this blueprint up. Let me try to delete all the crap. We'll save it. And then hopefully that will work now. Alright, let's get corner blueprint 2 going. And it should be along here somewhere. And that's nice and easy to build. Look at that. And that is how we complete off that corner. That is fantastic. Now let's get that machine back in and see how we finish off this build. We just want to chuck it in like this in line. Now, because we're going to be stacking these buildings on top of one another, we don't need all of it to be glass. So let's just finish off one level very basically, and then I'll edit my blueprint accordingly. Trying to figure out how to wrap this around in an interesting way without just boxing it off. I think we do just have to box it off. Alright, let me edit my blueprint a little bit to incorporate a frame for it. I might just do my blueprint designer right over here, because it's a little bit easier. Let me get rid of the one over there. I'm going to load up that blueprint again. Our corner blueprint 1, and we're going to box it off, I guess, because that's pretty much all we can do. So we'll do 2 meter foundations. Oh, maybe we'll just do 1 meter foundations. 2 meter foundations or 1 meter foundations is the only question. 1 meter foundations is more glass, but let's just do 2 meter foundations for simplicity. There we go. There's our corner now. Now we've got to seal this part and this part, which is going to be a little bit difficult, but we'll try our best. Essentially, we just want glass and to just make a big glass box. Now, do we want to put some framing here? The framing wouldn't go from here though. Use these 8 meter ramps like this. It would start from down here and then get it to this corner. Or should we go from top to bottom, which would be from here to here, like this. And then we can put a glass. We want to flatten the roof as well because there's going to be another building on top of it. Let me think about this for a second. Okay, let's try this. So I'm going to put the glass down here. And then we're going to go up. And remember, this is going to be subfloor as well. So we're going to do that properly. The subfloor is meant to be like here, right? And then the main floor is going to be here. Do we even need a subfloor is the question for this? We can do it without subfloor, honestly. I think the subfloor is just going to complicate this build. We're just going to expose the belts, I think. And do it without subfloor. In which case, we should just get the glass going. So with the glass, we're going to actually do it. We're not doing it the right way. Sorry. Let me just get rid of this. So to get the glass box effect that we want, we need to put the glass in the top first over here. So we're going to put foundations. We'll do it from here. We're going to go down 1 tile. And then we're going to get glass foundations all up in here. All along here. And all along here. But we need to offset it so that it's not on the edge. Okay, so it needs to be offset like halfway on both sides. So this is going to be really weird. Oh man, this is a good idea. So essentially it needs to be offset like this and get rid of the rest. Could be a terrible, terrible idea, but we'll see. We'll just do this side first. Now we can bring the windows down. Oh, but it needs to be offset by half on this side too. Does it? I'm not sure. I believe it might need to be offset on this half as well. That way it's just one consistent glass panel that doesn't fall out of this blueprint. So like this. That way it can be the same on both sides, right? Now in theory, if I build my windows down from here, that should... but then it intercepts the blueprint designer. But that's fine. We can manually finish off the windows. Like that. That gets me my glass box effect, I think. And then we'll finish it off using the other side. And we'll have to manually put some windows down the bottom. But that's not too much of a task to do. In fact, actually, we're going to do something else here, right? Yeah. So we're going to put billboards over here. I'm going to do a row of billboards here. Except we need to get them started at the correct spot or they're going to stick out, aren't they? The correct starting spot would be the floor. Like this. Oh, this is such a complex build. What am I doing? Watch this turn out. The effort required to do this is not worth the look, the overall look of the factory at the end. We'll do one wall like this. And then we'll put in, we'll do the other side before we put in the rest of the diagonal pillars. So there. Now we'll put in our diagonal pillars. Put in our tries. Wait, we probably don't want that one. And then it's going to stick through the floor. We want triangles. Like that. And then that is this side of the wall done. And it follows in with a glass ceiling thing here, which is fine. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. But this side, we can probably just make it all glass. That way we have a nice little open, visible thing for our factory. And yeah, we'll try that out as the corner. I guess we might as well paint it now. Give it a nice chrome finish. And that's going to be the base corner of our manufacturer building. Got an interesting like top tile over here. And that's going to be the main feature of it, I guess. I think the last thing that we probably want to add in is the LED strip that goes up this wall. Get that 4-meter label going. Right in the center, or as center as we can get it. And we'll wrap it around the top. Like such. Alright, I think that's good enough. Get the lights in. And then the lights along the top. Alright, cool. So that's basically our manufacturer building. That's the corner. So let's save that. See if it works. So I'm going to delete this now. I'll probably have to remove this as well. And let's drop in our corner. We're going to have to just build this iteratively one bit at a time to get the blueprints we need to piece this whole thing together. So we'll get that in. That's going to go around there. 1, 2, 1, 2. Make sure we align it properly. That looks correct to me. And there's our corner in. Now let's get our other corner in. So how does this now piece together with this? Let's figure that out before we get the other corner in. So basically this would continue out. One more. Then this would continue down one more. Then if we were to continue this pattern along here manually and continue this pattern out manually, maybe we can seal the building off properly up to there. And then that seals off here nicely, right? Yeah, I think we just manually build that last little section in. And then we can do the lighting something across and then down. It's like reasonably easy to build, right? So then this would just have lighting down this way. Maybe we can get rid of some of these blocks. Is that Z fighting? I don't want to get rid of this and then have to redo it. Let's just do it because I don't know where this goes. So these two, if we get rid of it. Nope, that doesn't work. No, it was just meant to be Z fighting. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. So no subfloor, no nothing. We're just going to have to bring the belts out creatively somehow. But this is a reasonably easy thing to build. And then let's do that same thing on the other side. So I'm going to switch that to manufacturer block number 2. Wait, before we do that, let's put in the manufacturer building part. Make sure the actual stuff we want to fit into the factory actually fits. I don't see any issues with that. I need to put a marker over here just to tell me where I'm building this corner when I delete this. We're almost there, guys. Bear with me. So we need to change this to load up our other corner. So I'm going to see what I can build into the other corner, which is basically this wall. Did I build a set of tiles over here? Yeah, I think I did. So we'll test it out. Just trying to visually see. So from this side, we build out to... Oh man, it's so hard to see. So basically, if it connects out to that side's corner, we basically want to build it out this way, I think. All right, let me try it. So we'll do the foundation part first. We build it all the way to the corner. And then in theory, we should just be able to build one row of these things. And it's offset halfway in and halfway in. So we can do that. First, we need to get it to the right height, which is that. Then we need to get it to the right verticalness. And I don't know which way the beam goes, which is a little bit annoying, but we can always edit that. So we need to get it there and like there. Like that. That's the starting point for the glass. Wait, I can visually see from here which way the beam's meant to go. It's meant to go horizontal in respect to this thing. So it's this is the wrong way. It's meant to go this way. So we'll build it like that. And we only need to build one tile's worth and it should meet our other blueprint. We'll have to test it out, of course. Very complex build. And then in theory, we just build this glass down. And I can't build it all the way down, but we can fix that out of the blueprint. I think that's it. Now, of course, across here, we need to build a light strip. And then we need to paint this whole thing black. Like that. That should be the second part of the wall, in theory. I don't know if this is correct or not, but we'll see. Put in the light strip. Now it's going to come somewhere from this halfway point, like here somewhere. I think we'll just get it up this wall first. And then we'll manually finish the top light strip ourselves. Because I have no idea where that's going to go. And then we'll just pile it out this way. But we want it to like turn and meet somewhere here. It'll be like a 2-meter thing like this. And then maybe it'll meet something like this. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we'll just do this as the blueprint. And then we'll put it in and see what it looks like. No harm there, right? All right, let me delete this. Now, we'll leave this here as reference. Now, I probably need to delete this part of the blueprint so I can place it on the ground. So here's the corner. There's to be one tile off each of these, like that. And now in theory, we should be able to meet our corner 2 with this pretty easily. And then we just need to build a filler wall over here, and then we're done. So if we flip that and put it aligned correctly, it should line up perfectly with this. Nope, I've done this completely incorrectly. It would have been like this. So I've built the right wall, I've just built it in the wrong side. And let me just test on this side as well, because in theory it should be... Yeah. Of course I did. I built the right wall on the wrong side. So basically, we want to do that, but we want to do exactly that, but on the opposite side. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll fix that up. This wasn't a very particularly difficult build, so it's on this side. And then we want to do basically everything we did here on this side, and this thing's turned this way with respect to that, right? Yep, because then it's going to come out that way and the beam's going to go across that way. So we'll get rid of this. There, and then we'll put in our glass panels again. Basically that. Now we just need to shift the light beam to the other side as well. It's not too hard of a fix to do. Just like that. Get rid of the old light beams, and that's pretty much it. Oh no, I did it without loading the blueprint. Now I can't just hit the save button. Damn it. Get rid of this part, and then we're done. I think. Let's save it and see. Yeah, I can't save over this. If I just hit save, it will overwrite the blueprint, but then it will just move it to the wrong section of the blueprints, won't it? It'll be in here now. Oh no, that's fine. Cool. Let's test it out. In theory, I should just now be able to plop this down onto the right spot, and it should meet this nicely. And yes, we're one tile out here, so we got to build this corner manually, but that's fine. We're ready for that. Now I'm just going to add some more light strips along here now that I know where they go. Basically, they go here, right? I think that meets it perfectly. And we'll just save that. Now we've got to figure out this corner, and we'll probably just build these corners manually. We can do something simple for the corner, I think. Will a triangle help? Some sort of triangle foundation. It's going to be one of these up corners or down corners. Inverted corner 4 meter. And that should fit in here perfectly, right? I think. If I can get it to snap to this point. That's the only corner I can do that's like a corner. But I can't get this to tile downwards. Damn it. Let me try some stuff. Will these 2 meter ramp corners help us? Let's try. That's essentially what we want. And then if we get our full frame window to turn on a 45-degree angle, we would need beams to do this, right? Oh, that's annoying. Well, we can just seal it with a square. That's the easiest way to do this, is to just seal it with a square. But I don't think it's going to seal nicely. So I'm going to try something. There's a few different ways we can approach this, so don't panic. We will get there eventually. I say don't panic. I'm just telling myself not to panic. We will figure out a way to seal this corner. I'm sure we have the creativeness to do this. I'm just seeing if the Z fighting here doesn't look too bad. It looks horrible. It's okay. It's not like terrible. It just looks like too many lines. But the point of doing that is so that we can seal down like this. And then this needs to be diagonal then, I guess. Or we can make this the entrance to our building, but it still needs to be diagonal. We haven't decided where the entrance is going to go yet. Let me get rid of these windows. Just messing about with my thing. I mean, we can seal it, and that looks pretty nice, I think. But does our factory still fit in here is the question. Let's put the machines back in. Yeah, I think it's barely fitting over here. So I think maybe we should convert this to an entrance on both diagonals. So we can either seal it with a box like we did on this side, or we can convert it into a entrance, or we can make the entranceway here. Okay, I think we'll just keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. This is way too complex, and it's starting to not look that good. So keep it simple. Seal it with a box, and then we'll just put it down like this. And that's a perfect box, and it seals nicely, and everything works perfectly fine. Remember, we do need to put an extra row of glass under here because our blueprint designer won't allow us to do that. And that's it. That's the corner done. Nice and easy. We'll just manually build in the corners ourselves, and then we can do a filler wall over here. It's 3 tiles long, and it needs to seal off this room or be an entranceway of some sort, right? So basically, we just want something like this, and then we'll just seal it along the top like this. And that's it. That's a big entranceway into our factory, right? I think that's the simplest thing that we can do. Yeah, and we can build the same thing on the other side. Now, what are we going to do for the roofing? Is it all just going to be glass? Let's just do it all in glass and see. It should all meet up nicely. I mean, we could do something cool over here. Let's try it. We can make the entranceway look like that. And that looks pretty cool. What do we think of that? Yeah, it's a very interesting looking building. Let's finish off these lights. It meets up perfectly if we do this. Yeah, I like this. We'll have to manually build the lights on here because we didn't use the blueprint. And somehow that all meets up perfectly. And that's our building. What do we think of that for our manufacturer building? It's not super interesting. It's not super complex. We've applied a lot of the concepts from our other thing to make this work. We've got entrances. Everything looks fine to me. So I've set up another floor above here to build the building. So basically my concept that I want to achieve with this is I want this same building turned 90 degrees going that way. So what we actually need, if we look at our blueprint for our corner, in fact, it will go on top of here like this. So I want my blueprint like this, but I don't want it going this way. I want it going that way, which means I need a flipped version of this blueprint. So I'm going to have to modify our existing blueprint to make flipped versions of each one. That's going to be super annoying. So I'm going to quickly do that. So here it is, the flipped version of our blueprint. I don't think I've forgotten anything, except for maybe like a tiny window under here. Oh God, there you go. Let's save this blueprint. Now I'm going to call this corner manufacturer 1A and then we'll go test it out. Oh, did I save it in the wrong spot? I'm going to drag this one over here. Now let's test it out on our new floor that we put above here to see if it can line up perfectly with this. So we'll get our corner manufacturer 1A and then hopefully that's now tiled perfectly against this, like such. Perfect. With our first corner in and deleting this tile over here, it's looking pretty promising with what I want to achieve. So we want our building going out in this direction. We might need to get rid of some of these trees. Now we need to measure out how far out we go on this side as well to keep this building uniform. How will we do that? I think we'll just build out to the other half of this bit. So we need to make the analogous thing of this, which ironically is the thing I deleted before. But we basically load up the blueprint corner B. 1A. Where's my B going? Corner assembler. Corner manufacturer 2. And then we want to make a 2A version of this, which is basically what I had before when I had it wrong. Damn it, I wish I saved it, but fine. So we want to do this. Got to get rid of this side. Get rid of all these windows. We do need to move the light strip a bit to this side. Something like that. Then we just put our windows back in and we're good. Nothing too complicated. Paint this in. And then we'll save this. Make sure we don't overwrite our original blueprint. So we'll call it 2A. And that's in the correct directory already. So we'll just do that. Fantastic. Let's place that in. Now I believe it's just one off here, right? So blueprints 2A. That one. And that should fit in nicely here. We'll use this corner to align it. Yep, that looks good. Let's chuck that in. Our light thing is a little bit off, so we'll edit that blueprint. I wonder if I can put that in the right spot. If I put it there and then I control shift it, no, it doesn't. So there's no point having this light beam here because we can't align it. We have to build it out from this side. Now there's a 3 tile gap before we go to the other side. So we need to build more floor tile probably. Let me do that. But basically we're going to use these same blueprints now, in theory, to put one over here. We don't do it in blueprint mode. Now I believe it's 3 tile gap over here. Like that. And that's where the corner goes. We can test that theory in a second once we put our machines in. I just noticed also I didn't delete this part, which I need to delete. That's fine. We'll edit that in the blueprint in a second. Let's put, we'll edit the thing in the blueprint, and then we'll put the other corner in, and then we'll see if everything lines up nicely the way I want it to. So we'll save that blueprint, then we'll go chuck it up here. Just moving my blueprints around so it makes a bit more sense. So our 2A is going to go here, and that should line up nicely to here. And that's on the edge over here. Just checking this corner is correct. Fantastic. Oh, I forgot to delete the strip up the top, damn it. Should have done that change too, but it's fine. Just put in the sign here. It's not a massive modification. The additional challenge of getting tileable blueprints that work together like this is definitely makes the designing part a little bit tricky, but I think we're pretty much there. So we'll get a corner in here. Get a corner in here. This thing is not exactly right, but that's fine. I don't mind that. It's a minor detail. I'm not going to bother amending it. All right, cool. So that's that corner in, and then we'll do this corner. Now we've got to remember we need to fill in these extra windows because there's a bit of a window gap down here that our blueprint doesn't do. We're learning the process of how to use this blueprint. It's a whole thing. There we go. Floor to ceiling windows, beautiful looking. I think I'm going to make the blueprint for this section. So let's figure out how to make it again. So we're basically building this up to here, one of these. Then we're going, then we're going to need 2 versions of this, right? So it goes up 2, and then we can build the glass as well. But the glass has to be half offset as well. Yeah, it's a half offset, the same way we normally do it. And then in theory, if we build it 1, 2, 3, and then 3 from this side, that should meet in nicely in the middle. And then we'll just fill in the missing glass like manually, right? That shouldn't be too much. I'm going to edit this blueprint now that I know there's a few issues with it. So first of all, this glass needs to be turned like that. Just double check that. So where it goes here, it needs to be turned so it's perpendicular. All right, that's fine. So that's fixed that part. We need to get rid of this light part, and then we can save that. All right, now we can clear the blueprint designer and build the filler wall so we don't have to manually build it every time. I'm going to quickly do that. So it's basically 2 up, and then we want to build from here a diagonal that goes up 3. Okay, get rid of this one first. And then we'll have to build the opposite version of this, I think, as well. Oh man, so challenging. So it goes up 3. And then that goes up here. That's basically the frame. And then from the frame, we need to build directly upwards, but offset half with the glass. So we're going to build in, I think, a frame on this side, and then we'll build it out from this side. So this is a dummy frame. It already exists in our other blueprint. And it goes up 1 higher than the top bit. So that's there. So that way we can align our floor or our glass. And it needs to be perpendicular. So like this. And then the tiling would be like this. And we go down 1. Oh, yeah, so much weird offsetting going on. But that's fine. We can figure this out. We are data engineers. This isn't beyond our cognitive ability. So we want 1 across here and then 1 extra across here. Get rid of this. Then in theory, that's how much we want out. So we only want it out 3 because the other side is going to come meet it. Like that. And then in theory, if we just put glass down, I'm sure I've gotten this wrong, but that's fine. How far does this glass frame go down? It has to cover this thing. So like there. A little bit of a gap here, but we'll have to live with that. I'm not sure what's going on over here either, so we'll have to figure that out in a bit. Maybe we don't want this. We probably don't want this one too. We'll add the glass over here as required, but basically that's it, I think. So I wanted an entranceway lighting, so I'm just going to put this back in. So we do need this glass here, and that one's fine. Nope, that sticks out there. So we'll do that. It's a little bit janky over here, but that's fine. It is what it is. Like, the alignment is not perfect because of the height that we want this offset at, I think. So let's paint this thing in. Don't need to paint this section because that's not going to be part of the blueprint. And then once it's painted, we essentially just want an entranceway light. So I'm going to steal and copy one of these billboards. I think small billboards should be fine. Perfect. So we want that and then that. There we go. We'll paint these billboards in, and we can't do it underneath here, right? We can't do diagonal billboards. Well, we can, but I'm not going to do the required things to get that to work. But we can get rid of this now, and then this should be our blueprint. Let's save it. And we'll still call it corner manufacturer, even though it's not corner. We'll call it wall manufacturer, and then we'll do like wall manufacturer 1. We'll call it 1, and then we'll call it 1A. Really need better icons for this sort of stuff. Chuck it in our corners, and we'll save that blueprint and test it out. We'll test it out on the other side. So theoretically, we should now be able to put down a blueprint for our wall manufacturer. And if we flip it, it should fit perfectly here. And that tiles nicely with that, with that, with that. Everything overlaps perfectly. Oh, did it first time. I mean, first go, I think. Look at that. Perfect fitting wall with an entranceway light and everything. Beautiful. Nice. All right, let's clean up the other side that we did manually. I'm not going to delete it and redo it. I'm just going to color it in and do the billboards manually, I guess. And the windows. It does go through this thing, doesn't it? If I do one more. Yeah, definitely. So we are missing a little bit of window here, but no one sees that. You guys don't see that. So it's fine. No one can see this. It's all good. It's a pretty cool looking building. I like it. Now the moment of truth is now if we figure out how to do the flooring. So looking at this thing, it probably needs to be black. Let me get rid of this excess flooring because we don't need it. This is just building, right? Get rid of all this excess flooring, and then we'll see how these two buildings look sat on top of one another. Now we'll probably need our floors to be black just to match this rim, I think. Will we need our floor to be black? But this is basically what our building will look like. It'll be just basically all of these sort of tiled upon one another and turning around. Let's see if it fits the manufacturers that we built it for. Now we also need to think about where the materials come up now. So I think it should follow here. So the materials should now come in this side. I might have to redo this to go the other way around, because at the moment they're going the wrong way around. So our manufacturer, the input will come in from this side now. It doesn't really matter which way the input comes in. It's arbitrary. But we'll make it come in from this side, and that fits in perfectly. And the output is coming out this side, which is fine. Doesn't matter which way the output comes out either. And then there. So now the input or the output is going to come up here, and then it needs to go upstairs through here to get to the next level. And then I guess it'll come out somewhere here, but then we can do something with it in the subfloor over here to get it to the right spot. So then the input for this manufacturer will come in on this side. So from this direction, that's the input. And once again, we should shift it to the right spot. And there is another 4 manufacturers, and that's halfway till done. And here's what our building looks like so far. And we can keep doing this pattern like across and spiraling it upwards, and then we'll see if it looks nice. And then we have to figure out how to join this all together into one cohesive building. I think the first thing that we need to do is paint the floors. At least the outer rim needs to be black. So let me do that. Do it from underneath. It will be a bit easier to do. And we'll figure something out with this corner in a second. That'll be part of joining the buildings cohesively together. But otherwise, this all lines up nicely. So we can figure out pillars. Oh, what's going on? Why are you painting something through the floor? But if we get the rim to be black, then that looks pretty good. Now it kind of matches. Kind of, being the optimal word. At least it's not as obvious. And now we can build our third one across here. But let's get the first 2 working first before we put in the 3rd and the 4th floor. We should probably amend this as well, because we've got a design pattern for this. So let's just follow it. There we are. Get the billboards in as well. Don't want to jinx myself, but it's all going pretty well so far. Pretty much what I had envisioned. Well, these light bands are going to meet up really nicely, aren't they? We've got a little bit of everything going on here. There's our lights on this side, and we'll do the lights on this side as well. Okay, that's the first 2 floors done. Let's get some materials input into this to just proof of concept everything does work. So to do that, before we close off this, we need to join up this stuff. So we've got 2 sets of this. So we need to go into the subfloor and join it all up, which is easier said than done. But in theory, we should just be able to put our 4 belts in. Just like that. And join up the power. So down here. So now all the power and the belts are connected. We should be able to now hook it up through here. So there's going to be 4 things, right? I'm just going to do... Oh, I need to do all 4 of them. That's fine. We should be able to hop through one of these holes. Yeah. Nope. How can I get into this door? I should change one of these into a door. Just for easy access. And now we can access it. So they go in. Here's our 4 material inputs. Of course, in this example, we only need 3 material inputs. But, you know, we'll hook all of them up regardless. Let's set the recipes. So we're going to make crystal oscillators, but we're going to make them using the alternate recipe. That should make a lot more. So we'll copy the setting down. And in this case, we only need 3 belts. So we're only going to utilize 3 of these 4 belts. So we'll put them in through the floor. 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll get that going in here. And then we'll deal with the rest in the subfloor. So let's get the first level working first. How are we going to get power to this system? So we've got a power tower over here. That makes sense to bring power across the station, I guess. What's the height of this? Around here. So if I did it like that, I'll go diagonally upwards. So is it better to bring it across this way? Or should we just bring it here? I'll just bring it here. What level is the power tower on? Let's have a look. It's about up 1 to 3rd level. Okay. In that case, we will get something along here. It's kind of a little bit offset from this line and up 3. I'm going to guess this is the line. I'm going to go 1 out and then we're going to go up 1, 2, 3. So that's 2 and that's 3 there. I think that's a straight line if I've done my maths correctly. And I know it looks a little bit weird just coming out there, but it's fine, I guess. Is it here? Or is it here? One of these is it. Because that looks like it's drooping a little bit, doesn't it? Like that. I don't mind that the power is coming in straight into the wall, because we'll immediately take it into the ceiling once we're inside the building. Wait, no, we're taking it into the floor, right? Because it's going to go through here. Where's my power? It's over here. So technically, to get a straight line power out of here, we need to follow this line over here up to like here. That's a straight line of power out. So we can get the power down to here. Put in one of these on this line. And then we'll get power going along the floor. Which is not as neat as power going along the ceiling, but it's good enough. Now the machines have power, we can start putting the inputs in. We haven't sealed off this wall yet, but we don't want to seal this wall off with a wall because the belts need to continue and pass the material continuously upstairs. So what we actually need to do on this side is seal it with holes as well. So we'll do that. And there we go. Our platform is done. Then these will have belts, and the belts will then pass the material upstairs, and we've got to figure out how to do that. But for now, let's get these inputs in. So we need to get into the subfloor. Do we have any subfloor access around here? Should we build a subfloor access? Well, we have the tunnel over here. So quartz crystal, well, let's start with the AI limiters since they're close by, I guess. And rubber, maybe. So we'll arbitrarily take this one, and that'll be the AI limiters. We'll take it north-south. Now, I haven't actually output the AI limiters anywhere, so let's go over there and do that first. Why are my AI limiters off? That's weird. Are you not syncing? Ah, of course, I've never put power to this thing. Let's just get that through and connect it to any of these power lines. It doesn't really matter. Kind of does matter. We'll hook it up to the light. That's so stupid. But it does transmit power through the light. Alright, our AI limiter is ready. So now we can take the main output of the AI limiter and put it somewhere. I think that's the main output of the AI limiter. So we'll go into the subfloor. Oh, we've got another tunnel here for easy access. Haven't built the access for this tunnel yet, but it's fine. We'll just build one in. There we go. Now we can access the subfloor here. And this is the output for the AI limiter. So it's going to go this way. Take a belt out that way. Through this tree. And somewhere all the way out here near the plastic. Where's that belt? Ah, I thought I went way past it. Whoops. Let's bring this belt over. Need to cross the plastic line. So here. And then somewhere along here. So we've got to bring it along here. That's the line. So we'll go back 1, 2. Then we can bring it up and over the plastic line. See, this is the crissy-crossies now. See how we're doing this north-south, east-west thing where the north-south belts go along the ceiling and the east-west belts go along the floor. Now we can crissy-cross without any issues all the time. Anyway, that's one material down. Let's get the rubber. I think that's the next easiest thing to do. We'll write in how much rubber we're actually using. So 16 manufacturers is 210 rubber. This plastic and rubber level that we've made over here is pretty much entirely servicing the AI limiters, or at least half servicing just for this stuff. So we're going to get crystal oscillator. 210 rubber is being used here, so we only have 190 left. And have we set up a hole for that yet? I think that's the main... No, we've set it up for the plastic. We have not set it up for the rubber. So we'll get that going there. Get that down there. Sure, we'll make it consistent. And then off we go. This is again a north-south belt, so we'll run it through the ceiling. I think I was scarred from building my original factory because we had so many different machines, belts and stuff together that we had so much crisscrossing and clipping and stuff like that. But actually building one building per factory already just naturally removes the crisscrossing nature of all the belts. I don't think I'm doing anything particularly special with this. So here is a good example of why you don't want to just run it through the ceiling here, because what if we need to run another belt along here one day? It'll crisscross over the ceiling. So we're going to not be lazy and put in some subfloor over here. And then we're going to bring this thing down. Once we hit the subfloor, then we can bring it out. And that's the line, I think. So we'll go back 1, 2. Now we'll bring that up to the ceiling, and that will ensure there's definitely no crisscrossies. Even though I have to do something stupid like go down and then back up immediately, I think that's worth it. So that's 2 materials in. Where's all my AI limiters? They're coming in slowly. This is what 80 items per minute looks like on a 1200 belt. It's just empty. But that's fine. Our final product is going to be the crystal quartz. So let's make sure we have the 300 that we need to produce all these crystal oscillators. I don't know if we have 300. I haven't looked at this factory for a really long time. So over here, crystal quartz, we're making 720. Fantastic. So crystal oscillators is going to be taking up 300. So our available will be 420. Great. And have we set this up to go anywhere? Kind of. We've set it up over here. Is that the overflow belt? No, that's just a secondary overflow belt. But where is the main overflow, main output of this thing? It's over here. That's the smart splitter. And the center output is currently going out, but that should be an overflow output. And the main output should be like to the left or right. We'll go to the left and we will put down a thing over here. We'll get that going down the floor. And now we need to access the subfloor and go down. I think I got a subfloor access over here. Nice. Then we'll bring this down and over there. Let me just double check whereabouts it is. It's just there. All right, cool. So we're going to bring this east-west most of it. So we're just going to bring it down to the floor. And then we're just going to bring it out east-west. We're going to need more subfloor. And it's about here. So we'll bring this out north-south like that. and then we'll figure out the line to go. So from here, I think that is the line. So go back 1, 2, and up we go. That should meet it perfectly. Fantastic. There's our crystal quartz in, and that should be our 3 materials. Easiest crystal oscillator I've made in my life. So much easier than my last factory. But there it is. It is now slowly, very slowly, I might add, making crystal oscillators. Let's link the manifolds. We'll get more manifold coming in from upstairs soon. But here's our stuff. So we need to, first of all, make a little entranceway into here. Then we need to output these belts. So each one of these belts should have an output like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we need to ask ourselves the question, how in the world do we get this upstairs? So obviously we need to punch it through the wall here. So let's have a look at where they all sit. Kind of. It clips like a tiny little bit, but I can live with that. This one's also okay. So we basically need to double punch through the wall. And then let's figure out where that comes out in the floor hole area upstairs. So we're definitely going through this ceiling. Let me figure out where that goes. Like there. Oh, floor holes look terrible through glass. And then probably there, there, and there. There's our 4 belts, I believe. I want the visibility of this not to be the light beam, but to be the arrow. Because I want to show that these belts are going upwards. Like that. There's our 4 material upwards. Then we're going to have one that goes downwards over here and passes it there, but we'll worry about that in a bit. Let's go upstairs and see where we need to punch these belts out in terms of here, right? Because if we do it directly up here, then they're going to be inside here. They need to shift over a little bit. And by that, I mean they need to go here. So let's set this part up. We'll get that wall door in. And in theory, I've put this in the right direction. So they should go like this. And like, if I've done this correctly, the way we're passing materials between levels should be reasonably clean, even though it's dealing with 4 belts. So let's get the floor holes in. Then let's get this going. Right, there's our 4 inputs to the machines. Then let's get the inputs hooked up between this, quote, subfloor. So we do something like this. And then we do something like this. Oops. Oops, again. Come on, give me the right height. There we go. Now that should just hook up nicely in the subfloor. This is the subfloor basically now. Except it's going to be an open subfloor. You're going to be able to see it. But these materials do transfer nicely at a 90-degree turn, which is fantastic. Look at that. That is beautiful. All right, cool. So the materials are transferring between the subfloor, and now it's going into here. Let's get this top level working. Can I just paste the setting? We need power and to hook up the belts in here. So I'm going to quickly do that. All right, the belts are hooked up. You can see the material is now passing through. Power is going to be another interesting case of how we bring it up between levels. But we've brought it over here. Hook up this belt as well for the output. And then we'll figure out what to do with the power. So since it's here, we can just directly bring it upwards, I guess. And that would go into this glass over here. Right? If we get it straight and up. Guess we'll just bring one diagonal power up. And then we'll just bring it into here somewhere. Like that. Sorry, let's bring it in straight though. Something like that will do, I guess. And then we can bring it inside. Oh, I can see it from out here. There you go. There's power to the whole system. And now they're all green and lit up and starting to produce crystal oscillators. Fantastic. Now we've got to work on the link back down. So here's where they come out. I believe they come out this way, which is good, because we need it now to go back down into the floor. So if I build a lift over here, and then we lift it Does that line up perfectly somehow? Then we can get the crystal oscillators coming out here through this lift. And we can do the same but reverse thing to get the manifold back down to the ground floor. Because there's no use the crystal oscillators being up in the sky, right? So we'll get a thing like this. And where does this come out though? So we want it to get it here. So I guess we'll just put it along here. But along this line. Like that. And then that'll come down. Oh no. I have to turn it and the arrows are the wrong way. But that's fine. Like that. And that'll go in here. Yeah, that's kind of fine. Then in theory, we just get that. And that. And we're gravy. Eventually a crystal oscillator should come out here and go down. Oh my god, it works. And it looks fantastic. What do you guys think of this build so far? I mean, I haven't finished all the pillars and all that stuff yet. But I think it's going to look fantastic. That is cool. I like this building. It's very glass and boxy, which is good aesthetic for our advanced stuff, because this is sort of advanced manufacturing, right? And it's completely stackable and tileable, and we've made it out of blueprints, so it's easy to extend. I'm going to test that theory now by adding a third and fourth level. So when that's done, I'll come back and talk about it, and we'll continue and finish off the build. Alright, so the third and the fourth floors are now in, and our little spiral factory is complete. It's like, in terms of how difficult it is to build with these blueprints, it's like a medium. It's not that hard to build, and we know we're going to need more, so this building's going to keep spiraling upwards. So we need a system of support that makes this building look like it's not floating in midair, because currently it's just 4 buildings floating in midair. So let's figure out how we can build that system of support. Now we've got to assume there's no ground, right? Because the ground doesn't exist. So the support structure needs to come from this thing over here. So let's try some diagonal supports. I think that would look the best, but we can play around with some stuff. This is the fun part, you know? So I don't want the support to come from here because there's a light beam there, or do I? So let's just sketch it out with these. I mean, that looks okay as a support beam. Let's do another one over here. Why is this one and this one different? Ah, because that one's starting at a different spot. Right. Rightio. Well, we'll just tile it out this way then. I'll keep some of them because I know we're going to need more support than 2. So we can do that. And that looks like it's kind of supporting that. And now this part is more interesting because I think this part can just directly go up, right? No reason why we can't just do something like that. We'll get rid of these foundations. Don't need them anymore. This part looks a bit awkward. Can we do something slightly more interesting here? I don't want to overdo this because I'm going to have to actually build all this, so. But what I was thinking was maybe if we change the angling here, we can get it all the way to the edge. I love how you can't build another double ramp directly under a double ramp. Let's have a little play around with a few concepts and then we'll decide on what we want to do. How does that support look? Got a bit of an angle to it now. Interesting. How do we finish this off? With an inverted ramp of some sort? Like that? We can get rid of this one. Probably don't want to get rid of these. Do something like that. That's an interesting shape. Let me color it in and see what that looks like. What do we think of that? That looks like a cool little support beam. Sorry, annoyingly my game crashed, so I had to redo this. Yeah, I think this support beam looks okay, right? What do we think of that? That looks pretty cool. We might need a third one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. We can get a third one in the middle here. We build these the same and then we'll see if that's good enough. We'll just manually build this. It's a bit annoying to build, but and there's probably no blueprints I can do for this, so unfortunately I'm gonna have to like manually build this. If we do it the other way, it'll also look good and then we won't have this issue over here. But then this over here, I don't really mind it that much. This little notch over here, can always diagonal it down if we really want to, like that. And then if we get rid of these excess ones, what do we think of that? And then over here, I think this Z-fighting needs to be fixed. Now, the reason why this is Z-fighting is because the outer rim is regular concrete and not coated concrete. Let's just see if I was trying to get away with it, but I don't think I can. So we change it to coated concrete. Oh man, I'm gonna have to repaint it all as well. Oh, that's gonna be such a pain. Okay, I might have to do this outer rim in coated concrete, but then that gets rid of the Z fighting, which is great. And now we've got to do something with this as well. So let me fill this part in and then see what it looks like over here. Definitely a pain in the butt to build, but I think if it looks cool, it's probably worth doing. Do something like that. Then we get rid of this. And then we put this back in. And then we put this back in. And then we paint it all a color. And now the building looks supported, right? It doesn't look like it's just floating in midair. We've got to do the same thing over here. I wonder if I can use a triangle foundation here though. This is where it's going to be a bit of an issue. So let's build this up to here. And steal some 2-meter foundation. Build it down like that. And then build that down this way. Now what are we going to do about this corner? What can I put in here that fits? Kind of. This somehow fits perfectly. Not really. Oh, do we need to fill this in with triangles? Let's fill this in with foundation first. And then we need to marry this up to this, which is probably a 2-meter inverted corner of some sort. I had it before, but I can't seem to put it in here. That kind of fits. What about a 4-meter inverted corner? I feel like it's this thing, if I can get it at the right height, would be what I want. Because this is the corner. This is the triangle, right? So it would be some sort of inverted triangle like here. And if I can get it up one higher, then that should be right, maybe? Let's get rid of these first. Like there. Kind of like that. And then we build in the 1-meter foundations against this if it lets me snap to it. Which it won't. Oh man, that's super difficult to build. I need to zoom this down a little bit. To get a snapping point. Where are all these diagonal corners? There's one here, there's one here, and that's it. There's this one here, there's this one over here, and then there's this one over here. We might do the diagonal corners a little bit differently because this looks a little bit too complex to do. So what we might do with the diagonal corners, let me get rid of all this, is we'll just bring it down using this foundation to the floor. And then that'll be like extra pillars, right? So we'll bring it down to the floor like this. And then that's like even more support. What do we think of that? And then that solves this crossbeam problem as well. Yeah, I think that looks nice. And then we can get the light beam all the way down the pillar. I think that looks fine. All right, let's see how that looks against the second building. So that one is supported by the ground. And then this building needs to come out and support this building. So let's see how that might look. So same concept. So we'll get these coming out from here. Remember, we need all of these concepts to be sort of working together with one another. So something like that. Get rid of this for now. Put down these. So these flat ones are perfectly fine. Like that. And then that looks like it's supported. So that works fine. And then we can get the inverted triangle there. Not that one, but this one. Like that. Put this back in. And we'll paint it all later. But let's get the geometry all in first. Now, what about this side? Because this is coming out of a diagonal corner now. So we can't exactly support it from there. So it'd have to come out like this from here. And then this is also a diagonal corner. So how's that going to work? So we want this diagonal corner also to go to the ground then. Because that's the only way we can kind of make it look nice. Like that. That kind of looks cool. Let's paint that in. Now over here, how do we marry this section up as well? So we can stick a thing here. And then we can flatten it here. There we go. That kind of removes that corner gap, which looks okay. This corner gap I'm okay with. So let's paint that one in. And I'm actually okay with this. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Now this part and this part needs to do the same thing. So we will put an underbeam here. And then that's going to go to here now. So we'll get rid of that temporarily. Put this in. Why is that not meeting up properly? 1, 2, 3. I think it's meant to be 4. Is that 4? Yep. Ah, I found an easier way to build this. You just do 1 to 3 and 1 to 4, and then you have to do this bit. You can just put that in. And then we can put the underneath triangle in. And that looks fine. And we'll just do 2 cross-beam supports here, I guess. Let's paint all that in, make sure that looks okay. There we go. That looks fine to me. Once we get that done properly, it should be fine. Now, the other thing we can do is cross-beam it this way as well, but I don't think that's necessary. Let's just do our final one. So this beam needs to now support this top tower, and this diagonal needs to be continuing upwards. So let's build that in like that. We'll paint that in. And then we'll get the light bands in accordingly later. Yeah, that looks nice, doesn't it? Very interesting looking building. So this needs some cross-beam support to go to this side. So we'll do the triple on this side again. So it comes out of here. And we go 1, 2, 3. And then we put these 2-meter ones from here. And then we delete that one. And then we put a 4th one of these here. Then we do 2-meter ones from here. That works out nicely. Then we need the inverted tri. And we chuck that here. And now we've got this cross beam issue over here. All right, cool. So now this needs to come down at some point and be like a cross beam. So this is the other corner. So let's see if we bring this down where that meets the building. It's going to be somewhere here. Can't even build this thing here. It's going to meet here, right? And this is not a diagonal, so it'll just sit on top of this, I think. And then if we really want to do that, we can... No, but then that doesn't make any sense. So that'll just be this, basically. I think that looks cool. Once we get the light bands in, I think it'll make a lot more sense with the twists and stuff. So let's paint that in. And this one can be the 3 crossbeam supports again. So we're going to build out this way. I'm going to build out the rest of this. Or paint that in. And then we'll build one more out this way. That wasn't too bad. Paint that in as well. But first we'll get the triangles over here. Paint all that in. And let's see how that looks. What do we think of that? Now it has like cross beam support and stuff. It looks like it's a much more supported building. I don't know if we need a beam downwards here. I don't think so. Does this building look structurally sound to you guys? I think we need to connect some more bits and bobs. So like over here, for example, we probably need to connect this part. And then underneath here, this part is already connected. And then maybe just connect this part over here. And paint that all in. This is definitely the craziest structure I've ever built. But what do we think of that? I think that looks pretty sick. Does it look structurally sound? Is the most important part. I think it looks pretty cool. I think we need some light beams to make sense. So let me just paint some bits in. So we just connect the light beams to make it look cohesive. Like this. So like this light beam goes up, it connects around here. And then it comes around here, and then it connects down here. Then, so for example, over here, where it twists a little bit, we probably want it to like come up and twist along with it. To do that, we're going to need to get a... basically, we need a beam of light that goes about halfway up. But we have different signs that we can use, like a 2-meter sign that takes it up here. And then if we get a 4-meter sign to go along here, and then along here, and then along here, like that, then that kind of connects the light beams and twists it around the building to give that 3-dimensionality. Oh my god, every single one of these that I use that's a different height is going to cause issues. Excellent. So I'm just going to try to use 4-meter signs wherever I can. Check that out. So it twists around the building, right? And then it goes around here and it flips back down here. Great. And then it connects back in. Wow, it's actually one continuous light beam over here. Let's trace all these different light beams and make sure that they are all correctly connected to something. So this one goes in here, but we probably want to connect this section up. So let's get that done. Like that. I think that's fine. And then we can connect the light beam here and here. Come on, give me a snapping point. There we go. And then that light beam now goes up, around, goes this way, and around, and down here. That's fine. And then it kind of connects to this. So we can kind of connect it on the underside. Like that. Take a light beam there. And then it wraps around the underside. And then we probably want this to go all the way to the ground. I think these LED lights are going to tie together the entire building, basically. And then that one goes all the way to the ground. This one should start from the ground as well. This turned into such a big and complex build. But it's a cool looking building, so it's kind of worth it. It's definitely unique. Get one more light beam over here. Tie this together. And let's keep tracing that light beam to see where it twists and turns. So that goes up and over, down to this side. And then it kind of just ends here. So we should probably connect this part and this part. Do something like that, that, and then that. Up we go. Down a quarter. Get that lit up. And now this part all connects. Fantastic. So this is all now one continuous light beam. It goes down, twists around there, connects to here, and then it stops kind of here. Fine. And our final one is over here somewhere. So it comes down here. So it probably needs to connect continuously from here. We'll do it downwards from here so that it all matches. Okay, we're almost there. And then down here, and that all lines up nicely. Fantastic. Look at this building. It looks crazy. It's super asymmetric, which I don't mind. But it's got a very interesting and nice shape to it. Didn't turn out quite exactly as I expected it, but I think it looks pretty sick. What do you guys think of this? Let's check it out from every angle. I think that looks pretty cool. Although architects will probably tell me this building is not exactly structurally sound. But hey, we're trying to design some interesting looking buildings, right? And this is definitely something very different to what we've built so far, and I think it looks pretty sick. I think there's too many trees here. I'm going to chop down this tree. It's taking away from the aesthetics of our building. And with that tree out of the way, we can see everything a lot more clearly. Fantastic. I think that looks amazing. It turned out to be a very, very cool building. And most importantly, it's functional. So before we leave, we should probably figure out where to put like a parking lot. Not a parking lot, but just somewhere to process the output of the final oscillators. So all the oscillators are here now. So I guess over here is probably the best place to do it. So we can punch out the wall over here somewhere. This is all diagonal, so there's no clear place to punch out the wall. It would have to be through the glass over here. So we'd have to take it up to the ceiling. And then do it out maybe this piece of glass. So I'm going to replace that with a conveyor wall. Then we're going to take this out up to the ceiling. And then we're going to get it into that conveyor wall. That is not the right height. I think it's here. That is still not the right height. It's like inside the ceiling. Like that. Really? That's the right height apparently. I'm okay with that. Kind of coming out from inside the ceiling, but oh, maybe I don't like that. What if we change the position of this? So we do the final merger, but it comes out that way. And then does that come out in a slightly better position against this ceiling? It's because this thing is not perfectly against the ceiling height is not exactly level with anything. That's why it's not perfect. But this is fine. And now that it's out here, we can take this belt and bring it out somewhere. And we can sync it and merge it and do all sorts of things with it. So we probably want a splitter first. So let's just put a smart splitter there. And then we'll try to get these two belts to join, which is fine. And there's our oscillators coming out into a smart splitter. We'll take the main overflow into a second smart splitter. Oh, we'll take the main output there, and then we'll put a second smart splitter over here. And then we will store these oscillators somewhere. Since this is all part of the oscillator building, we might as well use all that space. So we'll go overflow this way. Then from here, we need to mainly go there and then overflow it out. So let's put ourselves a storage chest and an awesome sink. So we'll do a storage chest like this, right near the entrance. So most of it will go into storage. Then we can get that into dimensional storage the way we normally do. And any extra needs to go overflow. So we'll go to the left. Overflow. We can always move this later if we don't like the positioning of it. I just want to set it down for now. I'll put it into an awesome sink like that, and then we just need power to the awesome sink somewhere here. Make sure it's straight-ish. That looks all right to me. And I'll get it up a bit, and then we'll get that into somewhere here. Doesn't really matter. And then we'll get that into here. Should be a PowerPoint somewhere here, and that's pretty much done. Now all our oscillators will be stored in here. Look how many oscillators we have, and any excess should go into the sink. That's all set up. Overflow, overflow, and then our main output will just be here. So we can put a door somewhere and then say how many of these things we're producing. This will be the main entrance, I suppose, as good as any. Bring our signs. Change the icon to crystal oscillator, and our first second technically manufactured component is done. So we're outputting, I think, only 30, and available will be 0 because they're all going to be used for what are they called? Superposition oscillators. So this entire factory is going to be used up next episode when we make our superposition oscillators. But we did pretty well this episode. We made our new AI limiter factory, and that's feeding into our brand new superposition oscillator factory. No, it's not superposition. Crystal oscillator factory over here, which looks freaking insane, but very cool. I like it. If there's any improvements you guys can think of, let me know in the comment section. But I think I will leave it here this episode, and we will continue on next episode. If you've enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.